I was 14 when I started taking the train in, and I think the first time I ever came in, I lied to my mom. I didn't tell her that we were going to Boston. You know, just I'm going to skate. Me and all my friends lied to all our parents, and then one of them found out, called everyone else. Some of us got in trouble, and my mom was like, whatever. I used to take the train in to go to shows too, and so she, it was no big deal. Before they changed the name to Local 186, Bunratty's, which had a awful suspended ceiling, like it was really low, and if you've been in that place, like it's beautiful. They have like pressed tin ceilings and everything, but for whatever reason they put the suspended ceiling in. I saw Murphy's Law, a band from New York, who was like nuts. This was probably the peak of Murphy's Law, like late 80s, early 90s. I was a straight edge kid, and people were just smoking weed in the club, and I was like, what is this? People were crowd surfing, kicking ceiling tiles off, like out from the suspended ceiling. All the wires for the whole place were, up on top of the suspended. They fell through, hit the floor, sparks everywhere, and this was like a sold out show before the station fire in Rhode Island, obviously. So it was probably way beyond capacity. It was probably like 300 something kids in there, and all of a sudden there's this giant empty spot on the floor. Everyone's smashing up against the walls because there's live electricity that had just fallen down. The band didn't even stop. They didn't even miss a beat. The staff comes out, tries to shove it back up there, yell at everybody, don't kick ceiling tiles. That's a rule. Don't kick ceiling tiles. And that was probably one of the most memorable. Like, that was really fun, and I was like, wow, this kind of is a little dangerous. I'm like, we almost just got electrocuted. It started 6 years ago, and I set up one show with like all the bands I was trying to get a show with. It's like, we got a grill. I'll get food. It'll be great. It'll be awesome. And it was a great time. It just kind of took off from there. And every May rolls around, and I start, I'm like, we got to do this again. A couple years ago, I made a mistake of calling it Awesome Day as a joke because it's a stupid name, but we're stuck with it now. So it's just something I'm gonna do now, apparently. We just got through with the Rumble, and I love the camaraderie. I love the vibe of the Rumble. Everyone gets together and plays shows, different bands, but ultimately it all sort of works out to it is a contest at the end of the day, and I love the feeling of that, and I just want to kind of keep that vibe going. So this is a thing where there's a little less pressure, and everyone just comes together just to play music and enjoy everybody else's bands, whether you like them or not. You can just go out back and get a burger or something. This year we've got four venues, one wristband. You can walk all over the neighborhood in Allston. I think it's going to work pretty well. The proximity is a big part of it, that we've got these 4 clubs all walkable. I think about it and I worry what's going to happen if this gets any bigger, because I'm like, I really like the fact that you don't have to take a train. You don't have to do anything. Like, you can literally catch one band and walk 5 minutes up the street to catch the next one if they're not in the same stage.